Hello, my name's Catherine and I'm recording a video for those pesky dames on this week's topic of religion and feminism. So as a Christian I wanted to share the experiences that I've had in church and through conversations that I've had with other Christians and how that fits in with my view of feminism and equality. So there are little things that go on at church all the time. So for example at my church, the flower rota, almost everybody on that is female, if not all of them. The coffee rota, I think it's once every 3 months that the men make the coffee after the Sunday service, and the Sunday school teachers, the vast majority of those are female too. And then there's things that the women aren't allowed to do, so the tables that we use for the Christmas fair are too heavy and the women aren't allowed to carry those, and the women are not allowed to wind the clock, because that's too heavy as well. So a lot of churches, a lot of denominations don't have any problem with female speakers. They welcome them into church, they want them to stand up and preach and give their perspective. Within an Anglican church a vote has to be taken by the congregation, so we had that vote about 5 years ago within our church. Our vicar retired, we voted whether or not we would want a female priest, and we said yes, that would be fine. We were given a male vicar coincidentally and a female curate, which is great. We've got, you know, both genders represented there and they share the preaching between them. There is a nearby church who have recently voted that they would not accept having a female priest in place of their current vicar, which has caused quite a lot of offence and upset, not just to young people or forward-thinking people or females. I guess this would come from the passage in the Bible where it says that it is disgraceful for a woman to speak in church. And there's lots of passages in the Bible that kind of suggest that women aren't given the same place as men. So for example, when a woman's on her period she's expected to separate herself from society and she is ceremonially unclean, and anybody who touches her is also unclean until evening. There's a lot of things said in Deuteronomy chapter 22 about rape and virgins and marriage, that doesn't give the impression of an equal partnership at all, so that's quite difficult to deal with too. And there are differences in the way, in some passages, in the way that women's duties within a marriage are kind of explained on a man's duties within a marriage. And the other big issue I have is a conversation that I had with a friend of mine recently, and he was saying about society and where he thinks society has gone wrong. So his issues with society basically boil down to women manipulating men into doing things which are wrong and sinful, for material gain or just for the purposes of getting their own way. It's a really shallow view of women. I don't think it's favourable to men either. It makes men look really weak. I have heard it outside of church too, like in secular circles I've heard this argument, and I don't agree with it. But he kind of offered as a basis for that the story of creation. He was saying that before men were thrown out of the Garden of Eden, man was in charge, woman was subservient to man, and we had a close relationship with God, and this is how God created the earth and how he wanted it to be. And then what happened is woman went and committed sin and caused the man to commit sin too, and they were thrown out of the Garden of Eden, and ever since we have been striving to get back to that position within society. And he was saying society will never be right until that order has been restored where man is in control and woman is subservient. And I really disagreed with that, and I went home and read the creation story for myself, and actually what I found was this passage. So God created mankind in his own image. In the image of God he created them, male and female he created them. God blessed them and said to them, "Be fruitful and increase in number, fill the earth and subdue it, rule over the fish in the sea and the birds in the sky and over every living creature that moves on the ground." So man and woman were together given responsibility for caring for the planet that we inhabit and every other creature that inhabits it with us. So in this natural order that God created in the beginning, actually he put man and woman equal, which is kind of argument number one, I think. And then I found a website to back this idea up, Christians for Biblical Equality, and there's a link to that below. And I downloaded their statement on men, women and biblical equality, and it's littered with Bible references which actually suggest that the Bible is completely in favour of equality and an equal partnership between men and women. So here's a New Testament passage about man and woman as they were created equal. For neither is a wife separable from her husband, or her husband from his wife, in the Lord. For as the woman came out of the man, so also the man comes by way of a woman, and all things are from God. Man and woman were jointly responsible for the fall. Adam was no less culpable than Eve, and here he is kind of being laid bare, New Testament again. For since death came through a man, the resurrection of the dead comes also through a man. For as in Adam all die, as in Christ all will be made alive. And that hints at what I'm going to say next, which really for me gets to the heart of it. There is neither Jew nor Gentile, neither slave nor free, nor is there male and female, for you are all one in Christ Jesus. Jesus came for all of us. Jesus wasn't interested in your gender, your social status, in what you'd done wrong, in what you were doing wrong, in who you were. He came for all of us. And to be Christian and to not believe in equality, I think, offers a kind of contradiction. So do check that website out, because if you are Christian, I think you'll find lots more passages like that, lots of examples of women speaking in churches, lots of commands of how men and women have mutual responsibilities and a mutual relationship of respect. And if you're not Christian, I'm really sorry that I've just made a video that probably doesn't appeal to you in the least. Sorry. I'd really like to hear comments from everybody, anybody who disagrees with me or who agrees with me or who wants to add to anything I've said. Please be respectful, and thank you very much for watching, and thank you very much to the Dames for letting me do this video. Bye!